Hi, my name's Simon Camilleri. I'm just testing out my iPad really, and I thought I'd do a review on the movie Source Code, which I saw last night. Now, if you don't know about the movie, then don't watch this clip because it will definitely be a spoiler. This is for anyone who's already seen the clip, seen the movie. But the basic premise is he goes back in time. No, he's a captain. It's very confusing. He's a captain who gets in a program after he has already sort of died, but he's on sort of life support, and he can go back into the last 8 minutes of someone's life who was on a train crash. You already know this. The whole movie had real feelings of a quantum leap. I don't know if you know Quantum Leap. It's a series from the 80s in which a guy goes back in time and he goes into other people's bodies. And the only time you know he's in someone else, the only way he knows whose body he's in is when he looks in the mirror and sees his reflection. So very similar to this movie. And very similar to this movie, he always has a mission, in which case when he finishes the mission he can stop being in this person's body. Similar to Quantum Leap, is you never know when he's going to leave or when he's going to be zapped out of the person's body, so they had that sort of feeling. And also even the connection with his father in the Quantum Leap TV series. He's whichever time he finds himself in, he's always often looking for his father or wanting to contact his father. And same with this story. I thought it was really good. I really liked it. It totally held me all the way through until it got to the sort of happy ending. Around the happy ending, it just dragged, like them walking through streets of Chicago. You really didn't need it. I really liked. Well, it could have stopped. There was this moment of a freeze frame moment where you think it's the end of his life, the end of his mission and everything, and he's kissing the girl, and it freezes and it pans back, and you see everyone else frozen as well, and it's a really good effect, and it could have ended there and just been a sort of a bit of a darker. That was his mission. His last thing was to save everyone on the train in a parallel universe, right? But then it kept going, and that was good. That was interesting. I was like, ooh, he's actually alive in this other reality, and it kept going, and it kept going, and it kept going, and I was like, okay, you've hit the punchline. He's alive. You don't need to show them talking about life and everything, and being a happy little couple in this new reality. It was pretty cool to go to the big silver bean thing, because I've been there and it is just like that. It's very cool, and they did a cool effect where you saw them behind it but you couldn't see the camera. Like the camera was behind them, they were standing there, then the big mirror silver thing bean was there, and you couldn't see the camera in the reflection. But that's a bit of pretty easy, well, not easy for me, but easy for Hollywood, removal. And it went on for a while, and then it got on to the really interesting very end, in which was so confusing. The person I was with didn't understand it, and I was explaining it to them, and then the people sitting behind me in the cinema leaned over and said, "Could you explain it to us?" And I had a great conversation with a couple of guys at the movies, and we were all talking about it afterwards. And so this is my take on what it means. Okay, whenever he goes back into the source code, into this guy's life, takes over his body, it's not going back into the same time. Every single time he does it, they're creating a new parallel universe that didn't exist before they did it. So that's what he claims at the end. You're creating new worlds by doing this program. So this new universe, new parallel universe, exists a few hours before, let's say, the original, the real universe. Right? So this new one gets created in parallel time. He's in there for 8 minutes and then he dies, but this continues. Right? So he dies, he goes back to this reality, and then he gets back into, not this one, but a new one. So every time he's doing it, he's creating new parallel universes. In some of them, he saves the girl. In some of them, they both get shot in the car park. In some of them, it goes like that. Because the parallel universes are almost identical, there's no problem. But they are different universes. This explains his comment early on where he goes, oh, it's the same, but it's different. Because it's not, he's not going back in time. He's not going back to 8 minutes in his universe, or back to a few hours when before the train blows up in his own universe. He goes into a parallel universe, or creates a parallel universe. That may not, so what, right? The significance of that is at the end. In that parallel universe, in the last one that he's in, he decides to go back in because he wants to save everyone, and he wants to have a happy ending for the people on the train. So he goes back in and saves everyone. And while he's in that universe, that new universe, he sends an email to the woman he met when he's here, the lady soldier, the lady on the phone, right? He sends an email to her, but it doesn't go to her. It goes to her in this universe. It goes to the woman in this universe, right? She gets it right near the end of the movie in this universe before they've sent the captain on his source code mission. So what happens is the captain from this universe has gone into the body of the guy in the train in this universe, but in this universe there's another captain, a parallel captain, right? And so he's contacted the parallel female soldier and contacted her via email and said there's a mission with this parallel captain, and you've got to be careful because you're creating new worlds, and I want you to know what the source code actually does, right? Because he prevented the bomb on the train, they didn't send the captain in that universe back to that source code. If they had done that, from that point there would have created new parallel universes. So there would have been a captain from that parallel universe going on another source code mission. The father that he contacts while he's in this universe is not actually his father from his universe. It's the father from the parallel universe. But because the father from both universes have lost their son and everything like that, the conversation's just as genuine, and he feels he can apologise to his father and it's all good. But there you go. That's my take on it. If you didn't understand it, I understand, because it's pretty confusing. I'm trying to think of another movie that does it. There's Back to the Future creates sort of parallel universes, but you can fix them up and stuff. But yeah, it's an interesting movie. I recommend going and seeing it. Maybe put your take on what you think as a response to this YouTube clip.